All right, for more now on the summit, we are joined by our correspondent in Lithuania, John Bevir. John, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Perhaps let's start with, Sweden taking a big step towards NATO membership. And of course, this after striking the deal with the Turkish president. What's been the reaction around that?
Yeah, well, certainly NATO are selling this as a big win. They say the future admission of Sweden is yet another example of how Russia has got its strategy wrong when it came to invading Ukraine, and any hope that it would divide NATO members. It's actually, this invasion has strengthened NATO, and now we have not only Finland has joined, but Sweden on the way as well. It was a late night deal done at about 11 o'clock local time here last night. There were handshakes between the respective heads of state and the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg to seal the deal. Of course, lots of paperwork and formalities to go through before Sweden officially join, but everyone is hopeful that that is going to happen in the coming months now that Turkey has removed its opposition to Sweden joining. So NATO very much selling this as a win for the alliance and a show that NATO member countries and the wider world is united against Russia and is united in support of Ukraine.
And just talking about Ukraine, I mean, this is a significant trip, particularly for US President Joe Biden. He has a number of things that he would probably like to accomplish, especially with the Ukraine and its ambitions, to also get into NATO.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be, I would imagine, what dominates the headlines here in terms of when Ukraine can join NATO. Of course, very much everyone thinks that they should join NATO, but there are disagreements as to when it's best that that should happen. They can't join at the moment because they're involved in an active conflict and an active territorial dispute. So NATO rules say they can't join, but it's when do they get let in? Some say that they should be let in as soon as there is the fighting finishes in Ukraine, whenever that might be. Others say that might antagonize Moscow, so they don't want to see that happen. They want a slower entry for Ukraine into NATO. Interestingly, though, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is on his way here at the moment. He will be talking and meeting heads of state here tomorrow. He actually tweeted out a fairly damning thoughts on NATO and Ukrainian membership. He says Ukraine deserves respect. It's absurd when a time frame is not set. He went on to say it seems there is no readiness to invite Ukraine to NATO. So he very much is coming here to try and get a very clear timeline as to when Ukraine can join. But that is something that's going to require a lot of discussion, as there are a lot of opposing views on that.
All right, John, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for that update. John Bevir out there in Lithuania, of course, giving us an update there on the NATO summit.